And good afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lillia here with a longer, deeper dive into the forecast for you guys that are curious about the chance for snow, the prospects of precipitation, etc., etc., etc. I know what you're thinking. You're going, Nick, you're crazy. It's mid-60s outside. You're talking about snow tomorrow. That is nuts, and you're right. It is. In fact, I just had some peanuts because it was so crazy. It was so nutty. But in fact, back off to the northwest of us, here comes the cold front. Little Rock's already 8 degrees cooler right now than they were just 24 hours ago. So despite all the warmth that we're feeling today, the front is back off to the north, and you can actually see it over here on the radar, starting to sharpen up across parts of Arkansas, Tennessee, and it kind of swings back into parts of Oklahoma and Texas. That cold front, as it swings our direction, is going to meet up with a little piece of extra moisture and oomph aloft and give us a chance for some showers and maybe even some snow. In fact, a winter weather advisory in effect for a lot of the counties across the area, a winter storm warning in effect for some of our northern counties. I've got a sneaking suspicion that you folks in Lawrence, Jeff Davis, and Covington, maybe even parts of Jones County, may get kind of lumped into that winter storm warning as we head through the overnight hours tonight. Before you get too excited, that does only mean up to 3 inches of snow. But hey, that's up to 3 inches of snow. Not bad, right? Across parts of the Pine Belt. It doesn't happen too often, that's for sure. Here's a look at Futurecast, the HRRR model. Now this one only goes out to about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, so this is going to capture the entire event. I will say, this is going to be a pretty short-lived event. You're only going to see about an hour to maybe 2, 3, 4 hours tops of snow. The rest of it's going to be rain or a rain-snow or a rain-sleet mix. We only get like full-fledged snow for, 1 to 4 hours depending on where you're at. So be up early so you can get kind of a peek at it. So as we head through the overnight hours tonight, maybe a shower here and there. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, I'm going to set this forward, I wouldn't be surprised if early tomorrow morning, late tonight, as the rain shows up, that it's not moderate to heavy at times. You may even catch a rumble of thunder or two out there, maybe even a flash of lightning at ahead of the front where the heavier rain is. Now, once we get into the main event and things start to change over, that's when we talk, thanks Kendall, that's when we start to talk about the change from rain to rain, snow, and then eventually fully fledged snow. You can see that's the whitish area on here, but notice how thin that sliver is in comparison to all the rain. So the question is going to become, how fast does the cold air get here, and what does it do as it gets here? Here's a different model. So that was the HRRR. Let's look at the RPM. That says by about 5 o'clock in the morning, things changed over to snow for parts of Hattiesburg, Laurel, Waynesboro is in there, Collins, Columbia, points north, folks in Bay Springs, McGee, Quitman. Down off to the south of that, you folks in Beaumont, Richton, Richton's probably switching over, Beaumont, McLean, Leakesville, Loosedale, Wiggins, Poplarville, you folks still dealing with regular old rain, and then it's out of here. I mean, look how fast that stuff gets out of here. Both models showing that stuff starts and ends, in terms of the snow, pretty quickly. So don't blink, you may miss it. This is why forecasting snow totals is so difficult, because it is going to be such a quick event. I think your best chance to see snow is going to be where that winter storm warning is, and that's up to 3 inches of snow. That doesn't guarantee that you see 3 full inches everywhere, and I really want to stress this, and I know some folks aren't going to hear this, but I really want to stress it, that snow forecasting is difficult because a snow ratio, it works, or the snowfall works in a ratio of 1 to 7, 1 to 8, 1 to 9 inches. So for every 1 inch of snow, or 1 inch of rain, you get 7, 8, 9 inches of snow. So when we're talking about the difference between 1 and 2 inches of snow, we're really talking about the difference between 1/10 of an inch of rain and 2/10 of an inch of rain, the liquid equivalent. So it gets very difficult to pinpoint specific spots. So you folks in Taylorsville may get 3 inches, but in Mize you may only get 1.5 inches. And you folks in Bay Spring may get 4 inches of snow, but you folks in Heidelberg may only see 2. To the south of that up to 2 inches of snow, again, folks in Summerall may see just 1 inch of snow, and then just down the road in Petal, you may see 3 inches of snow. It gets very difficult to pinpoint exact numbers And that's why snow forecasting is so difficult, and that's why we always tend to give ranges rather than specific. 1 to 3 inches of snow, a ½ inch to 2 inches of snow, nothing to 1.5 inches of snow, is because stuff can change in a matter of miles as to who sees what. It just kind of depends on how things shake out in the 3D atmosphere. It isn't just about what's happening down at the surface. Folks south of a line from about Lumberton to Leakesville, unfortunately, are probably going to see under a ½ inch of accumulating snow, and you folks may actually see a whole lot of nothing. Snow in the air, sure, but nothing on the ground. So amounts will vary. Again, I really want to stress this. You may see a little bit more than the forecast. You may see a little bit less than the forecast in your specific spot. Again, going back to this, the difference between Taylorsville, Bay Springs, and Raleigh could be as much as 2 or 3 inches of snow. We just can't know that yet. No one can. Prepare for delays. I mean, the long and short of it is even if the snow doesn't stick around, there's still going to be problems. You're probably still going to have maybe some slushy roads, maybe some slippery roads just from water being there. And then you've got the folks that are just going to be slowing down and, driving to the conditions, which is what we prefer. We always want you folks to drive to the conditions. But do know that that could cause some delays. Also, schools will probably be changing their schedule for tomorrow, whether it's after school or before school practices or events, or school itself may be being delayed or fully canceled. And it's going to be cold. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s and 30s after all this stuff blows through. I think we tag 40 in the afternoon, but once the sun goes down, it's going to be very cold. Wind chills may be down in the teens at times. So it's going to be very cold, regardless of if you get a ½ inch of snow on the ground or 1 inch of snow or 2 or 3 inches. And again, with the snow only falling for a couple of hours, the cold is going to be around pretty much all day long. So that's the long and short of the forecast. Hopefully that helps kind of spell things out as we head through the overnight hours tonight and through the day tomorrow. If you have any questions, feel free to find us. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Myself, Rex, Patrick, we're always here to answer your questions. But please know, as we head through the overnight hours tonight, you may get woken up overnight tonight by a rumble of thunder. That's relatively expected. It may take until sunrise tomorrow for some of us to actually make the changeover to snow. So if you wake up in the morning and the ground's wet, it's still raining, don't worry. You may still have a chance to see a couple of snowflakes fall out of the air. And on top of that, for you folks that do change over, you also have a chance for some accumulating snow, but not a lot. And unfortunately, given the fact that tomorrow I think we get back to around 40 and we see the sun, the snow may not be around for very long. So if you get up early enough, take all the pictures you can when you can, because unfortunately the snow isn't going to be sticking around for long. And in fact, we're going to push in 70 by the time we get toward next weekend. We'll have more on this forecast coming up tonight on the news, 5, 6, 6:30, and 10. Patrick will be in tomorrow morning with all the updates you need, and then we'll be back tomorrow afternoon to kind of rehash the whole thing.